Hi again, this is video 4 of eRollbooks Basics and More. In this video, I will show you how to maintain and clean up your daily roll and CAV. We'll begin with daily roll. And there was recently a revised version of the rollbook posted in public folders. If you started working on your rollbook before the new version was updated, we'll need to make a minor change right now. In order to know which version you're working on, you'll come to the top where you see the headers. If your header enrollment is in column E, you are using the newer version and that you don't need to make any changes. But if your header enrollment is in column F, then you need to follow my instructions right now and we will delete column E. So you'll go up to column E, you'll click on the letter, and if it turns green, that's good, but you need to click one more time so that the whole column is gray. And we're only selecting column E. Then you will right-click on the gray and you'll select Delete. So now enrollment should be in column E and last name, first name is in column D. If we want to expand column D so we see all the student names, we'll go up to the top where we see the letters and we'll hover the cursor in between the letters on the line until we see the two arrows and we will double click. And now we see all the student names. In order to add new student names, you do not insert new rows on the daily roll. Instead, you want to go to the first blank name cell. So you go to the last student name on your list and click on the first blank cell underneath that and you'll type in the student's name that you want to add. And you can add their enrollment date as well as their ID number. And now we want to sort all of our student names alphabetically. So we'll go over to the left where we have the numbers and we'll click on the number and then we'll drag the cursor up until we get to the top row, which is row 3. So we want to make sure all the names are highlighted as well as all of their information all the way down this roll book. So everything should be gray up until the last student name. Then you go up to the top and you click on the tab that says Data. So click on the Data tab and then you'll go to Sort. So you'll click on that icon that says Sort. And we want to make sure that we sort by column D. So that's the name column, column D. And then we want to make sure where it says My Data has headers, we do not want that checked. So it should be unchecked and we should have sort by column D. We can say OK. And now you'll see that the names are in alphabetical order. It's taken the ID numbers with them and all of the student information. Great, so now we've learned how to add students and sort alphabetically. So I'll show you how to hide your rows and columns so that when you print, you don't waste a lot of paper. And so that you don't have to scroll down all the time to row 180. So we want to go to the left where the numbers are so that we can select the whole roll book. And we'll scroll up until we reach the last row that we want to hide. So I will stop at 102. So I've highlighted all of these rows. So then I will right click and I will select Hide. So now I've hidden those rows and that's okay, you can always get them back. So you see here it jumps from row 101 to 181. So if I highlight those two rows, where I know all of the rows are hidden in between, then I can right-click and unhide. And now all of my rows came back, and I can right-click again and hide. And you can do this also for your columns. You can hide any columns that have holidays. So if I select all of these up at the top where the letters are, it will highlight all the way down, and I will right-click and hide. And if I decide I want to unhide those, I go back to the top. You can see it goes from F to K. So I'll highlight F and K, and I'll right-click and unhide. And so you can do that for holidays, for days that you don't teach, and that will really help save paper when you're printing. Great. Now to use your daily roll, you'll take the numbers from your CAV, the hours that your students attended. You'll take those from the CAV and you'll input them into your daily roll. So you can see here I have the hours for each day. And then when I go down to the bottom of my roll, I can see how many students attended each day. I can see the total weekly attendance hours. And then in the next row, in the next cell where it says total teaching hours, I will enter my hours for this week, which was 12 hours, and then it will automatically calculate my ACS. So then you will use this information to complete your weekly CAV summary. That's the tab down at the bottom as well. Great, so that's everything I have to share with you about the daily roll. So we can also go to the CAV now. So the tab down at the bottom, click on the CAV. And again, if you're using the slightly older version of the roll book, we will need to make that minor change right now by deleting a column. So if you see that your student sign column is in column C, you are using the older version and we need to change that. If this student sign full name is in column B, that's correct. That's what we want. So to correct this, we will go to column B. Up at the top, we will click so that it highlights only column B. And then where it's green at the top, you'll right click and you will delete. Good. So, and then I will go to the top of A and B and I will double click so that my column will expand. And that expanded way too much. So I can go up between those two columns again, and this time I'll just drag. I'll drag the column in. Okay. And it's still cutting off last name, first name. So I'll drag that out a little bit. Great, so column A should just have last name, first name, and column B should have where the students sign. And if yours looks like this, then it's correct. So now we want to add new students. For the CAV, it's a little bit easier. You can just find where you want to add the new student, and you'll click on the row below. So over to the left where the number is, I will click on this number 16. And then I'll right click and select Insert. And now a new row has appeared above. And so then this is where I can type my new student. So you'll always click on the row below where you want to add a new student. So I'll click on the number to the left, right click, Insert. To add a group of empty rows, you highlight, so again over to the left where the numbers are, you highlight the amount of rows that you want to add, you'll right click and insert. And now it's added that group of 6 rows. Okay, great. And to print, you'll see here there's a dotted line going down the page. And so that's where the page cutoff is when it's printing. So we actually have a little bit more space here. So we can drag these columns. So we might want the time columns a little smaller, but we might want to make the name column a little bigger. And so you can see now it will cut off right at the right spot when we print. And this line down here is showing where the second page will begin. We probably don't want the second page to cut off there, so we can add a few more rows. And now the second page will cut off here. Okay, so then when you go to File, Print, you can see that it will print everything in that document. It all fits on the page. Okay, great. So that's a little bit about how to manage your daily roll and CAV. And please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, thank you. Good luck.